What's up, Brian Tong here, and I'm on the road to bring you the first look of the new Pixel 9 Pro Fold. It brings an all-new design, and it's the biggest update that we've seen from one generation to another out of any foldable on the market today. You know, I love what Google did with their first Pixel Fold that came out just about a year ago, and yes, you know, there were concerns and criticisms people had, so Google listened, and this is the most significant upgrade that we've seen from a foldable. And yes, this used to be just called Pixel Fold, which is simpler and cleaner, but I think Google wants people to know it's not a scaled down foldable, but packed with the same processing power and features that their flagship phone has with the benefits of the Fold form factor. So I love the first Pixel Fold, but it was just, you know, it was too thick and too heavy for me to make it a daily device. This new Fold is the thinnest foldable on the market at 10.5 millimeters at its thinnest point when closed, and then even thinner at 5.1 millimeters when unfolded. Compare that to the Z Fold 6, which is thicker at 12.1 millimeters when folded and 5.6 unfolded. You just really have to feel this in hand for yourself to understand why you'll fall in love with how it feels so good when you hold it. Now, Google reduced its weight by 26 grams, so now it weighs in at 257 grams, but that's still a little heavier than Samsung's Z Fold 6 at 239 grams. I also probably should have mentioned that the display size first, but this is the Pixel 9 Pro Fold. It is so thin compared to the competition. Like, this is what hits you first right when you pick it up. But this now brings a 6.3-inch external OLED Actua display with its rounded corners and a 120 Hz refresh rate. Also, 422 pixel per inch density with HDR support at 1600 nits, and then a peak brightness of 2700 nits. So you're getting a device that has the same screen real estate as their Pixel 9 Pro phone on the outer cover, and it completely feels natural in the hand. In fact, they've made it so thin that this basically feels as thick as a standard phone with a thicker hardcover case on it. Now, when you open this up, and we're looking at right here an 8-inch OLED Actua display that is 80% brighter than the last generation. That is significant. You got a variable refresh rate up to 120 Hertz, the same 1600 HDR, and then 2700 peak brightness as the external display. This display looks awesome. It's big and bold, and yes, the crease is there. The crease is always there, but that still hasn't bothered me, especially as much knowing that this is a foldable. There's functionality that you gain from this, but I'm not the type that gets too crazy about a crease because, yeah, it's a foldable. Now, the outside has this silky matte-like finish. It's classy, but not too slippery for me, and then a satin metal frame. It's not super shiny. I just love what the Pixel design team does. They have an elegance that is unique in the market, and this brings an all-new hinge that's made of stainless steel with this aerospace grade high-strength aluminum alloy cover. So I'm told that it's more durable, enough to be, you know, tested and folded over and over again. It's also packed with the latest Google Tensor G4 processor to handle all of its processing and AI tasks, and that means that Gemini is everywhere in this phone. This was just an initial hands-on, so I haven't been able to dig deep with it yet, but 16 gigs of memory, and then either 256 or 512 gig storage capacities. It also has what Google and third parties claim is the best camera system on a foldable. You got a triple lens rear camera system with a 48 megapixel wide camera that's with an f1.7 aperture, then a 10.5 megapixel ultra wide camera with autofocus and an f2.2 aperture. Then the third one, a 10.8 megapixel telephoto camera with an f3.1 aperture, and then you get 5x optical zoom with up to a 20x digital zoom for the Pixel 9 Pro Fold. And then the front-facing camera, this is a 10 megapixel one with an f2.2 aperture. So right out of the gates, the Pixel 9 Fold Pro is the thinnest foldable on the market with the best camera system for a foldable as well, and that instantly, to me, skyrockets it up to the top of the foldable mountain. For me, like, this is just your 2 of the device. I'm putting it all the way up there. And yes, we know Google is choosing to make the camera bump its thickest point, and it can have a little table wobble sometimes, but it feels so thin in hand that I don't think it'll bother you, and it's not a deal breaker for me. It brings some unique camera features when you're taking photos. You can use your best camera with the external 48 megapixel camera for selfies if you're that type of person, and you can actually see what you look like on the outer screen to take advantage of that. Or this new feature, a Major Look. This shows a fun animation that grabs kids' attention so that you can get them looking at the camera every time. I haven't tried it, but I've got to assume that it works pretty well. And then if you've been following along, Google has the best photo editing capabilities. They've got their ridiculous magic editor, and there's a new feature now here called Add Me with the camera. Now, you can take a picture with you in it, but you're not always, sometimes, right, it's a family photo, there's no one that can help you out. Well, now you can then switch with someone, switch you out. So I was taking the picture first. I can go into the picture. It uses an overlay and AI and cropping to then put you in the picture with your friends. And it looks pretty darn good. If I didn't tell someone, I don't think they would even question whether I was taking this picture separately or not. So this is just one of the cool things they have. And this is just an initial first look, hands-on. But the new Pixel 9 Pro Fold, it feels snappy, intuitive to navigate, using split screen, using the task bar and playing around with it. It's really great. And it's Google, to me, that has made the biggest, boldest, and most drastic design change from year 1 to year 2. And that's the type of move that just pushes this category forward. And it's the Pixel 9 Pro Fold that is doing it. Now, it has a 24-hour battery life. You get fast charging, also wireless Qi charging as well, and then an IPX8 rating for water resistance, not dust resistance. It comes in 2 colors, porcelain and obsidian. I think porcelain's really classy, and it will come loaded with Android 14 and will start at $1,799. Now you're saying, oh, that's a lot, but that's also $100 less expensive than the Galaxy Z Fold 6 that starts at $1,899 for their 256 gig storage model. So I think you're getting a better price, I believe a better form factor, and a better camera system overall with this Pixel 9 Pro Fold. I can't wait to review this, but this is one of the most exciting foldables that we have seen in a long, long time, and you know what? Others are going to take notice. So there you go, your first look and hands-on at the new Pixel 9 Pro Fold.